Hello everyone, and we're now on to our most difficult grade 9 kind of tree diagram questions. Very, very popular with all exam boards because they know that this is a really good way to differentiate students. So we're at the top end now of these most difficult questions, so let's have a look at this one. This, by the way, would be worth 6 marks in the exam and would usually come sort of like 1 or 2 questions from the end of a paper, second to the end, usually something like that. So in this question, it says there are only green pens and blue pens in a box. There are 3 more blue pens than there are green pens in the box. And it says there are more than 12 pens in the box. Okay, there are more than 12 pens in the box. Simon is going to take at random 2 pens from the box. The probability that Simon will take 2 pens of the same color is 27/55. Work out the number of green pens in the box. So step 1 is let's get our tree diagram going in order to represent the situation. Okay, so what have we got in our box? We've got green pens and we've got blue pens. So green and blue, green and blue. Now, we got to write down a probability. So let's say that the number of green pens is G, okay? And the number of blue pens is B. So therefore, the probability of green is going to be G over G plus B. So probability of green is green over green plus blue. Probability of blue is, let's say B stands for the number of blue pens. That's going to be B over G plus B. So that's the probability of our green and our blue. Now let's imagine that we had taken out a green pen first. We would have G minus 1 green pens, and the total number of pens in the box would be G plus B minus 1. If we'd selected a green pen first, there'd still be the same number of blues when we come to select the second pen. So it would be B over G plus B minus 1. If we'd selected a green pen first and we come to select a green one here, if we'd selected a blue pen first and we come to select a green one, there'd still be G green pens in the box. So that would be G plus B minus 1. And if we'd selected a blue pen and we go to select another blue pen, that would be B minus 1 over B plus G minus 1. Perfect. So that's our tree diagram done. Now, what are we told? We're told that Simon taking 2 pens of the same color is equal to 27/55. So we need to work out the probability of green and green, and we need to add that to the probability of blue and blue. So green and green, you remember we multiply along the branches, so that is G over G plus B times by G minus 1 over G plus B minus 1. That's our probability of our green green. And our probability of our blue blue is blue over green plus blue times by blue minus 1 over blue plus green minus 1. Okay, so that's our probability of them. And by the way, when we add this together, this comes to 27/55 is our probability of them both being the same color. Okay, so that's fine. We're getting there now. So what we've got to do is we need to boil and crunch all this down, algebra down. So let's have a look at what we're going to do here. So notice we've got the same common denominator for both of these. So these fractions can be combined. So we can say G times by G minus 1 plus B times by B minus 1 all over G plus B times by G plus B minus 1 is equal to 27/55. Let's tidy up our numerator a little bit, and let's tidy up our denominator a little bit as well and see what that's going to give us. Yeah, let's see what that's going to give us. Oh, actually now, there's an important thing that we need to make use of here, I think is going to be super useful. We've got this one equation here with 2 unknowns. And you can't solve one equation with two unknowns. You need two equations. So we need to somehow generate another equation to help us get the whole thing just to be in terms of either B or either G. I think either one would probably do. And there's a piece of information they tell us. They tell us that there are three more blue pens than there are green pens in the box. So that from that statement we can form an equation. The equation we can form is that the number of blue pens must equal the number of green pens plus 3. That's making use of the statement here where it says there are 3 more blue pens than green pens. Okay, so the number of green plus 3 equals the number of blue pens. Now that's super useful to us because what that means is we can substitute in that piece of information and we can replace B with 𝗔-𝗟𝗃, which is going to be very useful. So let's do that. So we're going to have G times by G minus 1 plus B, which is 𝗔-𝗟𝗃, times by 𝗔-𝗟𝗃 minus 1. Just replacing the B with the 𝗔-𝗟𝗃. That's what we're doing there. And in our denominator, we have got G plus G plus 3 times by G plus G plus 3 minus 1. Okay, it's all equal to 27 over 55. Let's do a little bit of simplification of this. Okay, what's this going to go to? That's going to still be G times by G minus 1. And then we're going to have still G plus 3 there. And then the next one's going to be G plus 2. And that's all going to be over G plus 3, which is 2G plus 3. 2G plus 3. And then over here, we've got G plus G, which is 2G. And we've got 3 take away 1, which is 2G plus 2. So 2G plus 2 is equal to 27 over 55. Okay, we're getting there now. So you can see why this is a grade 9 question for sure. Okay, what's our next step going to be? Well, let's kind of, let's just expand everything and see what we get, and then we'll do some cross multiplying. So this first term is going to be G squared minus G. The next one is going to be G squared plus 5G plus 6. When I expand that, that's what that's going to turn into. And then let's do our denominator. So we're going to have 2G times 2G is going to be 4G squared. We're going to have 2G times 2 is going to be plus 4G. We're going to have 3 times 2G is going to be plus 6G. And we're going to have 3 times by 2 is going to be 6. So 2 times 3 is going to be 6 is equal to 27 over 55. Okay, let's now collect some like terms. So we get 2G squared, that's that. And then we get 5G take away G is plus 4G. Just crossing these out to show I've dealt with them. Plus 6. And then in our denominator, we have got 4G squared, and we've got plus 10G plus 6. Okay, 10G and 6. 27 over 55. Okay, so now that we've simplified everything, we're in a position now where we can cross multiply. So let's now cross multiply our expression. So we're going to get 27 times by 2G squared plus 4G plus 6 is equal to 55 times by, oh no, actually, wrong way around there. Swap those over. That's going to be 55 times that one, and it's going to be 27 times the other one. So 27 times by the 4G squared plus 10G plus 6. Okay, perfect. That is good stuff. So now we can expand our brackets and we can then collect like terms. So what we're going to get over here, we're going to get 110G squared plus 220G plus, let's do that, 55 times 6 is 330. And then over here, 27 times 4 is 108. 108g² plus 270g plus the next one is going to be 16. Let's just double check that. 27 times by the 6 is 162. 162. Okay, perfect. Now we just got to get the whole thing over one side. So that's going to give us 2g², because we do 110 take away 108. Then it's going to be minus 50g. 220 take away 270 is minus 50. And then 330 take away our 162 is positive 168 equals 0. Now, I know this is super horrible, but believe it or not, this could be on a non-calculator paper, which I know is rather nasty, but it is, as I say, a grade 9 question. So we could divide everything by 2 now. So that's going to give us g² minus 25g plus 84 is equal to 0. And then we've got to think about two numbers that times together to give us 84, but add together to give us minus 25. Oh my goodness. So let's try 21 and 4. Let's just see if that works. Okay. So 21 times by 4 does in fact give us that. And then if they were both negative, they would add together to make minus 25. So we could have g minus 21 times by g minus 4. Okay, perfect. Which means that gives us the number of pens in the box could, in principle, be 21, or it could be 4. So now we've just got to decide which one of these two is the right answer. Which one do we need to include and which one do we want to rule out? Well, we're told that the number of pens in the box is more than 12. So it has to be that there are 21 pens in the box. So our answer to that question is the number of green pens in the box is 21. Okay, I hope that you found that question useful, and I'll see you in the next video.